Hello and welcome to Stitching Journal Club episode 3. I am Beatrice and this is where I talk about cross stitch and whatever sciencey nerdy thing catches my eye for the week. First, I want to say thank you for all of you who subscribed and who have liked the video and who left such kind comments. I am blown away and I really hope to continue this for a long time. So thank you once again. So let's just get right into it. The first thing I want to talk about is some books that I bought off of abooks.com. I was going on, the typical internet rabbit hole, and I found myself on abooks, and I decided to see what they had for cross stitch. So I got 3 things almost at random, pretty much, just to, I don't know, have some fun. They were cheap. So let's just get into it and show you what I got. The first thing is called The New Cross Stitch Sampler Book by Helen Phillips. This is published in 1999 and it's fairly typical. Like, here's the back cover. A lot of country scenes, some farm animal kind of scenes. Kind of what you'd expect for something published in the 90s, but there are a couple things in here that I liked. So this is a field of animals. Let's see, get that glare, there we go. I think that's really cute. I'd stitch that. I'll probably stitch that someday. I like the field, I like the sheep. It's great. And so the other one I got is, they're calling it Red Fox Farm Sampler. So it's another farm scene. Got the farm, got the cows, but I really love this whole border is stitched. So all these animals in the border, that's part of the stitching. So I thought that was really cool. And I really like the owl. This owl here. Oh, where am I going? There we go. So that's really cute. Okay. The next book I got is called Cross Stitch in Blue and White by a few different authors. And this was published in, let's see, 1995. And so I thought that this little house sampler was really cute, and that's in there, but most of the patterns in here are kind of weird, actually. A lot of florals, but this guy, this little angel cherub thing, that's in there. It's kind of scary. I don't know if I will stitch that and give it to someone as a gift. I don't know what to think about that. Oh, the 90s were a great time. But this one I really liked. These tulips. Ooh, don't look at that. Tulips in blue and green. It's really funky and kind of modern. So I think I'll stitch that if I need to give a gift to someone. So that's that book. I'm not doing total flip throughs just because these have a time limit, but if you want to see a flip through of all of these, just let me know and I'll be happy to do it. But the third thing I got made the whole endeavor worth it. So this is called Timeless Tribute by Leisure Arts, and it's a booklet of 8 patterns, but the one on the cover sold me immediately. I love space. I'll stitch anything space, and as a millennial, I sort of feel obligated to stitch this one. This is definitely going to be stitched by me and I will display it proudly. Oh my gosh. There's a better picture inside. Yeah. Yep. Look at that. I love it. Like, unironically, I love this. So I'm gonna have that up someday. So there's that. So yeah, What vintage books do you guys have that you stitch from? Cross stitch is very old and storied pastime, so there's a lot of history here. So let me know what your favorite vintage sort of patterns are. Okay, so I'll put that down. Next, we'll get into my whips. I worked on two things in the past couple of weeks. The first is Ornate Halloween Sampler by Night Spirit Studio. This is another restart for me. Let's bring it closer so you can see the detail. I think it's adorable. I'm doing this on 20 count Aida in purple something with DMC 154 and 939. So like I said, this is actually a restart for me. I got it a long time ago, like as soon as it came out, and I was doing it on this fabric, Picture This Plus Phoenix in 32 count. But I didn't realize then was that the hand dyeing, the over dyeing, shrinks the holes, and it made it hard to stitch through. I would use my ball tip needle and that would make it difficult, and I would use a sharp needle and I would keep piercing the threads, so I would always have to restitch parts, and it just wasn't fun. So I would stitch a little bit, put it down, stitch some more, put it down. Like this took me almost a year to do just because I just wouldn't pick it up because I didn't like it. And this progress is 2 days worth of stitching. So I'm gonna keep going on this and wait till I finish it. I'm kind of sad just because I love this fabric. Like, look at that color. It's so bright. It's perfect for Halloween. But you know, if it's not enjoyable to stitch, it's not worth it. So I think this will be done in just a few sessions of stitching if I stick to it. So there's that Ornate Halloween Sampler by Night Spirit Studio. And the second thing is Heart Sampler, of course. I'm gonna work on this till it's done. So I worked on page 8 and 9. Some of these motifs are sort of diagonal, so I worked on both pages 8 and 9. And I got those two flowers done. Let's see, let's get a better angle here. These two flowers, and then this is the start of a sword, so I got that started. I pulled down these motifs here, and yeah, this will be done by the next video. I'm making that promise right now. I cannot wait for this to be done. I just can't. So I'll work on it bit by bit, a little bit every day until it's done. Again, here's the whole thing so far. I am going to finish the stitching soon, just have that little corner left, and then add embellishments. So I'm saying it now, hold me to it. I will have Heart Sampler finished by the next Flosstube in 2 weeks. Yay, I love it so much. Just look at that heart. It's gorgeous. I don't know if I'll ever love a sampler as much as this one. I don't know. Okay, that's done. Okay, next I'm going to talk about my floss storage. I know floss storage is a very individualized personal thing, but I also know that looking at the way other people do it can help to give you ideas. So I thought I would just add my voice there. So anybody who's trying to figure out a way to store their floss can get some ideas. Basically, just sort of my version of floss bags. So these are 4x6 zip bags that I got online. I like these because they zip on the horizontal side rather than this way. And then I just put a piece of card inside just to help it stand up in the box. And then I stuck a label on the side just to identify the floss number. And inside If it's a full skein unused, I'm going to just shove it in there. But if I've used it and this is leftover floss from a different project, I just stick it on a floss drop, labeled of course, because I label everything. Don't judge me. And then this just goes into a photo box with the others. So this way, I'm wasting less floss because I don't have to buy a skein for each project, which is what I've been doing before. And I'll have a better idea to know what I have. And it's visual. For me, I'm sometimes a bit of out of sight, out of mind. So if it's shoved in on like a bobbin box or something in a drawer, I'll forget I have it. So I like this so I can flip through, see what I have, and go with it. Now I have to convert all of my floss into this system, which is going to be a project that probably won't be finished for a while. Wish me luck. Okay, so that is my floss storage. Let me know how you store your floss. Do you do bobbins? Do you just do thread drops that hang up? Let me know. I would like to know because, you know, organizing is its own hobby. And this may very well change for me someday. Okay, now I have something special. Wait here. I want you all to meet my dog. His name is Sokka. He's named after the brother in Avatar: The Last Airbender. He's 17 years old. I adopted him the summer I graduated college, so in 2009. I was staying with my parents and I decided I wanted a dog, so I went and got one. He had been at the shelter for a month, and he's mad because I woke him up from a nap. Well, you stay there. So he'd been at the shelter for a month. I went and didn't get him the first day, but I went back the next day. Just something told me to go back, and it's been us ever since. So that's Sokka. Like I said, he's 17, so he's really old. He's an old man, an extreme senior citizen, but he's still very spry. When he's not sleeping, he has a whole lot of energy. So hopefully he'll be with me for many years to come. So there's my dog, Sokka. Okay, I'll put him down. Since he's so old, he doesn't like to be held as much anymore because of his old bones. They're not so conducive to all that picking up and putting down, but he's still my best friend. So yeah, so that brings me to our Stitching Journal Club topic, which is about, as you guessed it, dogs. I did a paper in college about the evolution of dogs, and it has always been my favorite paper I've written ever since then. And I was thinking about it recently because Nature published a study on a new piece of research that looks into the origin of where dogs came from. Hold on, I'm pressing buttons here. So let's get into it. Dogs have been an integral part of human existence for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. The earliest unequivocal, no questions asked, evidence of an actual dog is around 14,000 years old. But obviously domestication happened before that, and it could have happened as much as 30,000 years ago, which, if you think about it, is kind of amazing. One theory of dog domestication was that wolves were following around human settlements, scavenging their hunting kills, and warning the people when other predators were around, just through their behavior. Eventually, the less fearful wolves would come closer and closer to the humans, and eventually, evolved into dogs. And I know that sounds really hand-wavy and sort of vague, but that's really all we know about the domestication of the dog. And there are a few reasons for this. Dogs were the very first animal that humans domesticated, so they're the very first one. And they are and continue to be the only large carnivore that were domesticated by humans. So that means that there are no records of what happened, and we haven't really replicated it ever since. Now, I know that there is a study, like an ongoing extended study on foxes being domesticated, but that's slightly different, even though it gives us some really good insight on the process of like what happens when animals are domesticated. It doesn't quite apply here. So it's all up in the air. Additionally, scientists can't say with complete certainty where domestication happened, whether it happened in one place or whether it happened in multiple places at the same time. Historically, wolves have been incredibly mobile, moving freely through vast territories, mixing with other wolves, and sometimes later on even dogs. That being said, it has been long thought that the dog ancestor came from somewhere in Siberia, and then dispersed worldwide with humans. The recent paper attempted to get at the question of where dog domestication happened, or where dog ancestors came from, to be more precise, by sequencing the genome of over 60 ancient wolves from North America, Europe, and Siberia, in addition to modern dogs, to see, where those relationships lie. They found, surprisingly, they did find that there were two possible dog ancestors, one from Siberia, as they thought, and one from Western Eurasia, so I'm guessing Eastern Europe. So one interpretation of this is that dogs were domesticated in at least these two regions separately, and then came together somehow, through mixing and travel to produce modern dogs. I think that's really cool. I won't interpret it too much because a lot of the genetics is beyond me, but the idea that dogs were domesticated more than once is not an unreasonable hypothesis. The paper is open access, so I'll link it below if you want to give it a read. So yeah, there's dogs for you. Today's recommendation is called Critter Fixers Country Vets on DisneyPlus. It follows two veterinarians and their practice in rural Georgia. I think it is super charming and funny, and I hope they put out more episodes soon. So there you have it. Thank you for joining me and watching Stitching Journal Club episode 3, and I will see you next time.